whoops. Welcome to Mornings with Matt, personal and professional development training that connects the art of acting with critical life skills and self-mastery. Presented by the Deering Acting Studio.
Alrighty, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Mornings with Matt. It is 7 a.m. We are here at the studio, and we just finished our Valleywood movie camp and discovered some new technology around here. Well, it's actually really not new technology. It's old technology that we discovered how to use. But
we know how to use it in a really cool way.
Yeah, that's right,
and
dude.
It definitely was updated a lot since we used to use it forever ago.
Yo, that's for real. And this goes back to a lot of things in life. And honestly, a lot of mistakes that we've made and things where, and maybe even not mistakes, but just interesting to me. The idea of when we first started with green screen here, man, was it like a to-do. It was so hard to do a green screen, and now it's like a push of a button, and it's like, boom, it just works. Hey, by the way, so we have a guest on today.
We do.
And the guest, he's a birthday boy.
Yeah.
And he was having some trouble with his internet, but he's on, it looks like. So I'd like to see if we can do something to bring in Mr. Dejzon Walker.
Good.
Admit.
Good ad, Brian.
Bringing him in. Yeah.
I mean, that's just
Admit.
That's the button.
Admit. Yeah. Just a little fun
Admit?
going on.
All right, let's see. Here we go. Is he going to come in?
I don't get the pun. What was the pun?
Dejzon.
Admit?
Yeah, like adding him.
Oh, I see what you did there.
You're a little slow this morning, Brian.
Well, I'm a little slow on those kind of jokes always. I don't think
Hello.
time of day.
Good morning,
Good
sir.
morning. We cannot see you.
Good morning. Give me 1 second. Let me see if this helps out a little bit. There it is. Perfect. Is that you, right?
So sorry to wake you up this morning. Good morning and happy birthday, Mr. Dejzon Walker.
Thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody.
So
You hear me okay?
yeah, we hear you okay. So let's talk about some of your journey here and where you're at. So you were a collegiate athlete, correct?
Yeah. I actually was a collegiate athlete from 2011 to 2015.
At NAU?
Yep, up in the big sky.
Go Lumberjacks.
You know what I'm saying? Hook the J.
I root for you guys anytime you're not playing ASU, and you know.
Yeah,
And, dude,
we got to break the ice right there. Go ahead, everybody. Who's your team? Go ahead, lay it out.
No, it's okay. We're all ASU guys, but
yeah.
we don't really consider you guys to be like
competition.
you're not really. It's not like you're U of A or anything. Like you guys are.
And,
you
well,
guys are
let me-
NAU. Like all peace and love up there. It's no problem.
And let me just say, I did love that you sent over the photo of you just laying out somebody at U of A, just like
Yeah.
face right up against his mask. That's the kind of thing that we can support. Like
Credentials.
we can put that on a poster. We feel good about that.
Yeah, I mean,
You know who you talking to, you know?
it's okay. I mean, playing NAU is kind of like a preseason game at the beginning of each season. You know, gets you warmed up.
If you guys really want to know the truth about how that goes, typically it falls into depth and coaching. Those are two big key factors when those games are played. First team, most times are equal across the board. Yeah, there may be a few different players at a few different positions that may be, hey, this guy has something that this guy doesn't. But other than that, the ones match up with the ones, the twos match up with the twos. Now, when you start kind of getting into that line of depth, when you go past that first half, that third quarter, and then you get into your third, fourth, and fifth strings, that's where it's hard for schools, the FBS and stuff like that to kind of keep up with those types of schools because, we don't have that depth in the fifth and sixth strings, So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Other than I gotta say, we got this new guy, Jaden Daniels, at quarterback. That kid's for real. That kid knows what's up. So all right, so you made a transition then from collegiate athletics and to acting, and you are now pursuing a career in acting. Let's talk about that transition real quick.
So that transition is definitely not one of the easiest. I would say it's exciting because it's something new, and all athletes love something new. We all love a good challenge, right? So it's as far as transitioning like my focus and what I was passionate about and what I wanted to be good at, it allowed me to have a new avenue, a new lane. But the beginning part, going from calling myself, athlete, collegiate athlete, professional athlete to now a professional actor, it was different to jump from that role, from being a football player, guy in a helmet, everybody knows you, catch footballs, throw footballs, that's what you do. And now people are like, hey man, like, what are you doing? Like, what's going on? Hey, yeah, you still working out, still playing football? And you're like, no, I'm actually an actor now. So it's a little bit different, but it took some time to be comfortable saying and calling myself an actor.
Yeah.
Because once you finally do, it makes a whole difference,
So have you found your rhythm yet in the acting world? Have you found your stride when it comes to the work that goes into becoming an actor? Like, have you figured that part of it out yet?
This is year 4. I'll say kind of year 3.5 because it's COVID-19. Whole thing happened. But as year 4 is going in,
It's like this year doesn't count, right? I mean, we give ourselves like a half year pass here.
We're 4-load right now. I'm just joking. But,
Yeah, right.
But basically, it's like I've learned a lot over my first year. I learned a huge chunk. Second year, even more. Third year is kind of when I started to settle in and kind of started to understand where I fit, one, in our market, two, other markets in other industries. Like, LA, you have your, New Mexico, you have your Atlanta, you have Chicago, you have, New York. So in those different markets, I started to figure out where I fit in there, during what seasons, what were my high times as far as peak, what were my low times as far as, hey, maybe you should go and outsource and maybe go create on your own, or maybe go find different gigs on your own in these markets because it may be slower in the commercial industry in Arizona. So it just kind of, I had to find that equilibrium, that proper balance of, hey, okay, you're going to produce, create, you're going to do everything that you're passionate about in this lane. Okay, but in these slower times, how do you focus on the brand of Dejzon Dwight Walker? How do you focus on that? And how do you build that? One, how do you get better as what you want to do right now, which is acting, which is to, be that actor that you want to be, which is, by the grace of God, and thankful to, you guys and other people, that have been around me and support me. It's all been God. And I've been able to do some miraculous things within a short time span that a lot of people haven't been able to accomplish, in the bulk of their career. So in being able to do that in a market in Arizona, I'm very blessed. I'm very appreciative. And I'm excited to see, where the full year number 4, or full year number 5 ends up going.
Awesome. So tell me, what is the brand of Dejzon Walker?
So the brand of Dejzon Walker, it used to be more about sports. And then I thought it was going to be all about acting. Then I kind of got more into a creative mindset where I was like, wow, I'm just always thinking about ways how to create. And I never really knew about that until I dove into acting. So don't just let acting be one form of way how you get into this industry. You may notice that, okay, I may be behind the scenes one moment, or I may be helping out, with grip the next, or hey, I may be producing, in another project. So it's just, I found out that there are multiple ways to, feed my creative passion and to get going in the right direction. And sometimes it's hard to get going, but you got to take that first step. And there's a lot of people around you in your classes, people who you see on set, who you see all the time at auditions that you pass by. Take a time, take a beat, pause, see how those people are doing, catch up with them, see what they're doing in their lives that maybe you can correlate in your life. It's all about, a lot of people think it's just, hey, how you doing? Good to see you go, and then you don't see those people again, or until you work with them again, or until you go back to a callback. But, I've been fortunate enough to take out some time, especially during this pandemic, to, really self-evaluate myself, my brand, and to connect with others and see what their brand is like, and see if maybe we could collaborate or trying to create something here in Arizona. We have a lot of talent here, man. And we, it's beautiful to be able to produce for others, but it's a whole nother ballgame when you can create for yourself.
All right, so I'm gonna press it. I'm gonna press you a little bit here. But before I do, let's talk about it. Did I hear you have a baby girl?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
This is
Alea Skywalker.
Hey, congratulations. This is new, yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's my first, man. It's very exciting.
How old is she?
She is less than a month. She'll be a month next week. Friday.
Oh, just in the perfect stage. Well, no wonder you're not getting any sleep.
That part is definitely underrated. They don't tell you about that. Like, I mean, they do.
They do, but you don't believe it. Like, it's crazy. Yeah.
It is crazy. It's night and day.
Well,
I love it though. I love it.
That's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Lady, thank you. You know, it's really a team effort. You know, like I said, it's not just me. It takes a village, great support system, and out of house, in house. You know, my lady, she is very great with our child. It's just, it's great to see them being able to bond. And, you know, me being able to have the time off and, you know, just be able to just sit back and appreciate just the small things. You know, we just had a new baby. And right before that, just closed on my new home, you know, first time home buyer. God is really good. I'm telling you, he's doing some amazing things in my life.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. So, so coming back to this question, because you seem to know the business. Like you've been diving into the business part of acting, which I love. I think that's amazing. And of Dejzon Walker, because you just all you talked about was, you know, like kind of networking and blah blah blah. But what do you want to be known for? You know what I mean? Like, if someone thinks about you and they mention your name, what is your brand?
So my brand is, I want to be a guy who helps people serve, who helps people laugh, who gives them that joy. And that's where I'm trying to find in my passion as far as creating, producing, being an actor. When I first got out, my plan was to be one of the biggest, well-known named actors and be in everyone's household, everyone's television set, whether it be series, whether it be television series or feature films. I've been able to do two to three feature films right now, in the process of another one. Been able to kind of work on a television series for a short stunt. But my thing now is I want to end up creating, you know, and I want to have my own, maybe, you know, not distribution company, but I would like to be able to produce and be able to put out films. I want to be known to make people laugh, to give people something real that they can take, and then they be able to help and give back. You know, one, to the community. I've always loved sports. I've always loved little kids. And so that's why I'm trying to find a way how I can let people know, people who were maybe in my position that didn't know anything about acting, you know, that didn't know how to start and get into acting, that didn't know how, okay, hey, this is here for me. You know, this is a different way. I don't have to just play football. I don't have to just do this. And I don't have to wait until I'm 25 years old, 23 years old to start into something that's been there all along, you know? And especially in not want to say industry, but like, you know, people like me, you know, people who look just like me, you know, skin color and all. It's different. You don't hear about these things. And so to break into an industry as such, I don't want to just sit here and dabble, and I don't want to just be in it for myself, you know? So when I say about my brand, it's kind of hard because I don't like talking about me or my brand, but I know the brand is a part of it. And so when you do hear about Dejzon Walker, I want you to know that I'm not in it for myself. And so that's why I say take the time to connect with those around you, because your brand is not just about you. Your brand is other people's brands. It's all in one. You know, it's how you connect with the next person and how you may add something into their life that may allow them to help produce and create in their life, and then so forth and so on. You know, it's kind of that chain reaction of giving, that pay it forward. And so, you know, that's really what I'm here for, you know, to pay it forward. God has called me here to be on earth to serve. And so I found passion in that doing acting. When you can go on set and be around people that you love and people that you see all the time, that you know, go on auditions with, and hey, you know, maybe they didn't get the job last time, maybe you didn't get the job last time, but it's beautiful in our industry because, yeah, it is cutthroat at times, but you know, hey, it's not up to the casting director at times of who gets the job, you know, that's and right. I think people need to know that.
That's right. That's right.
They need to know that we are all in it together. And that's what the beauty is. When I started learning that and started, really crafting crafting my passion, I was, keen. I was like, wow, this is cool. Like everybody here in this room is different. Everybody in this room has their own brand. Everybody in the room has their own journey that they've came about to get here to this point. Now, what do you add to that? What can you take away from that? Not in a selfish way, but, what can you give to receive? How can you put yourself in their shoes? How can you help them out? Or how can they help you out? And so I think it's not so much about, self as it is for others in this industry. And I think if we have more people thinking like that, giving in, let's give more, I think we'll be able to create and produce more here in our own backyard. I think we're, really seconds away from, having real big breakout studios here and having people come into town, having, tax breaks get rolled back so we can get more people in town, so we can get bigger clients. Like I just did a shoot with Nike maybe right before the pandemic came. And it was beautiful. It was organic. It was boom, 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 in and out. Quick 3 to 5 day shoot. But it was great. And we need bigger clients. We need more clients like that. And I think it's only a matter of time.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And you're and see, now I'm getting a clear vision of who Dejzon Walker is and wants to be. And we agree with you. Around here we've got a few different things that we do, a few different avenues to our companies, but mainly it is to serve. It is to connect with other people. Like we're all about lifting other people up. That's our thing. And so I 100% agree with you. And I love how you keep name dropping God there, because I'm a big believer in the man, and basically yes. One of our early passions was to help him by creating an army of creatives who could go out and infect the industry from the inside out.
I like that. Infect. I like that word. I like that.
Yeah. So there are great companies that are making movies and doing, like Megan say, Christian films and doing different things where I'd say they're attacking from the outside in, and sometimes though they're preaching to the choir where they don't really reach the masses. And I'm thinking how do we help create really talented individuals, help them cultivate their talent, and then help them land jobs and get into the industry, and then get a chance to then spread the message from inside. And that's how I think we make massive change across the board. So that's something we've been focused on for a long time.
I'd love to get with you on that too. And like I said, see how I can help at all, or if there's a portion that I can play or a role that I can play at all. I think it's great. Like even what you said, and I know that you guys have probably been doing it for some time, and it took me year 2, year 3 when I got into acting, my first couple of years when I had 4 nationals commercials running my first year of acting.
Yeah.
In the first 3-4 months, I'm like, what is going on? What do I do? And that's another portion of who I am. I'm starting to figure out, what do I want to do with, once I get there, once I do have that success, how do you handle that? Because I've had success happen very, 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 very fast. And then I've also had success slow down where it's like, hey, where are these residual checks at?
Yeah.
Hey, can American Express, can we renew that again? Can we bring that again for another year? And so as far as, investing goes, I think people need to start, actors too, with being in a position where sometimes, your 1099s don't always line up, or your income or your pay stubs don't always line up. It's hard and tricky sometimes for actors to, get into, new income situations as far as like, hey, I need this, or I need a loan for my business, or I would like to buy a home. Like I said, I just went through first-time home buyer program, and I'm not a wizard at it, but I've learned a lot. I went from 478. I had some fraudulent charges and identity theft happen on my account. A 478 credit score back in October of 2019. And within a matter of months, by the grace of God, I was up to 720.
Boom.
But it was a process.
Yeah, right.
It was definitely a process. But being able to now know how to get through that process, like I said, I want to be able to serve. And so, right now, yes, we're talking about acting, but there are other avenues that I do have outside of that kind of helps people on how to, like you said, on how to disrupt, the industry, whether it be, the banking industry, you know what I mean? If you have issues with, student loans and debts, or how to get into a home, or how to get, into a brand new car that you want. There's just different things that sometimes we don't always have the access to or the knowledge of how to. And I think it's better for us to kind of, connect with one another. So if it's, like in a situation where you're already in and you're trying to disrupt and dismantle from inside out, right? And maybe you may know something like, hey man, we tried that already. We tried to go that route. You just stay away from that. It's because time is a headache, so you don't hit your head, I think that's the more part about it. The more you give, the more God will bless you. Not saying give to receive, but it's just something about how it just works. It's organic.
It's automatic. You're right. And by the way, we would love to have you be a part of this. We'll figure that out. I mean, that's amazing. You already are, I mean, you're one of the soldiers. You came here, you took classes for a little bit. And I can tell you that one of the things that you'll want to be careful of, and this is an interesting thing, is this mindset of thinking like, I did this, it was in my first year and I got all this stuff and it was, it was more than whatever. And, I had a similar experience when I was first starting acting. I landed some big jobs early. And what's crazy is you don't give the credit usually to where it belongs. And, of course, God, but if we look at your work ethic and we go, okay, like, let's be honest, you got $1 million smile. We'll take it. Okay. So that's number one. And number two, and years on the craft of building a body, a physique, a look through athletics. It wasn't even for that purpose, but it just sort of happened, right? So I like to say this, like, here's the deal. Sometimes I would have the best talent in the room, but I didn't look best in the t-shirt. Okay? And, the guy that's like this looks best in the t-shirt. He's got the broad shoulders and the thin waist. And the truth is I would lose jobs because of that. And I had to come to terms with, all right, bro, if you want to compete, you gotta look good in the t-shirt. You have to figure that part of it out because you got the talent, like you're getting all the callbacks, but you're not landing the jobs, right? Okay, cool. So here you are, right? And I'm just gonna say you look good in the t-shirt right away. You got the smile, but now it's gonna go like how do you go next level? Because if you walk in, it's like it's not luck that you got it. It's like you had already earned that through your hard work in athletics. So now, instead of just going like, oh, it's just like, boom, it's just going to work, you got to go, okay, great. Now what happens if I back that look up that I've earned? Because you weren't born with it. You earned it. What happens if I back that up with unbelievable talent that is earned?
Unwavering talent,
this guy that has been reading plays, working on theatrics, like diving deep into character work. I mean, there's so much to acting to unravel for you to learn and discover. And this is the gift I want to give everybody, because when I first started, I got this like big head early because I landed some big jobs and I'm like, oh, it's all about film, TV, and blah, blah, blah. And then I saw real acting for the very first time in a guy named Larry Moss's class. And it just boggled my mind. And I was crying watching Shakespeare. And I was just like rolling over, just couldn't believe how good the actors were. And it opened me up to a whole new world. And I was like, I have to do that. Like, that's why I'm supposed to be acting. It has nothing to do with the film, the TV, the fame, the blah, blah, blah.
The other stuff,
this is what I got to do. And I came back and started doing plays, and my life changed. I mean, everything changed. And all of a sudden, like, my work ethic went from 0 to 100. And then when I really connected with God, which was February 2nd, 2018, the day I woke up, that was the moment when really everything went next level, because that's the day that I had a burst of energy coming out of bed every morning, reading the Bible every morning, like couldn't wait to attack it. So you put all these things together and it was like, boom, like here's where we're at. So I want to get you focused on, like, if you want to be a next level actor, you just always got to be focused on the next thing, because the Nike gigs, like, all great, like, who cares? Like, that's awesome. It's awesome, but it's just on the resume, right? But who are you becoming in the process of this, And I like to tell people, ideally, those big gigs, those national commercials and all that, like, they're awesome and we're grateful for them and it's great. But truthfully, it sometimes I'll just think of it like, oh man, it's a little bit of a distraction from the like my work that I want to be doing, which is just grinding and getting better, you know. And if you have that mindset, like more gigs come, more gigs come, more gigs come, and then you get to be more choosy with which ones you take, you know, and then your whole world opens up, and then before you know it, yeah, you're producing, you're doing all kinds of different things, and that's, I think, what if most people could focus on that, just focus on the work. And focus on what. Let me ask the right question here. How do I become better?
And that is the best question. That's the best question you can ask, because, like I said, after year 2, at year 3, I had to realize, what was I in here for? You know, and it's funny that you end up saying that you did take theater. You know, that you did look at in a live situation, because. I didn't. I do, like, still. Every day I'm reading, developing, you know, you cannot miss a day. That's the thing. You can't miss. It's just like collegiate athletes. Think about it. You can't miss a day. If you miss a day, you're sliding backwards and you cannot compete. So imagine you trying to push to get into the NFL. Like, we've got a few guys that are right now being recruited by NFL teams who are taking classes right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, you watch their work ethic. They don't get to take a day off, because they're about to go compete against the best in the world for a roster spot. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we have to think like that as actors, or who are we kidding? You know, like, we're not gonna beat LA if we don't work every day.
Very true.
Yeah, let's not forget, life and acting are completely connected, right? So, like, when you're growing in that area, you're growing as a person. And I know I can speak on that personally, having been in your master class since the beginning of it and to this day, and we'll never stop taking it until it stops, if it ever stops. Like,
it won't.
I know. Like, basically, that's how you grow. Like, you've helped me tremendously as a human being, off stage, obviously, around here as well. But on stage, like, every time we leave, and you see it with everybody else, dude, like, they're crying because their lives have been changed, and they realize, like, immediately afterwards, it's not about the play or their acting. They realize all the things in their life right then that they need to be working on and fixing.
Well, thank you. That's awesome. And I can say too, what I like to look back on and get proud of is my own personal growth as a coach in that class too, because it's all videotaped now over the last like 3 years, and I can watch my own progression and be like, dude, you're coaching way better than you were coaching. I can be embarrassed at what I was coaching 3 years ago, but if I'm not embarrassed, then I'm angry with myself, because I better be embarrassed by what I'm looking at 3 years ago. Because if I'm not embarrassed, then I'm not growing, I'm not progressing, I'm not moving forward, you know. And you look at any great actor and you watch their progression, they can all look back and go, wow, I didn't know what I didn't know, and now look at where I'm at. But my sights are already up here, and if they're not up here, they need to move quickly.
They need to get there.
Yeah,
because if
you're not pushing to get 1% better every single day, 1%, that's all it takes, 1% better every day, then you start going the other direction, which is 1% worse every day, and that happens pretty quickly. So.
No, definitely. I'm like my year 2 to 3, I slacked off. I got busy, and I thought that was good, but I forgot about myself as a whole, you know, inner me, to be able to get better. You know, like, you always got to have either that off season. You know, seasons are up and down, and that's what I told you. I learned a lot from year 1, but I learned a lot more in year 2. I learned when the up times were, I learned when the down times were, I learned when it was best to work on me as a whole and my craft and acting. And so that kind of allowed me to be like, okay, hey man, you got to continue to get better. You got to find different ways to grow. And I think I told Brian, I told him this when we were initially setting up this podcast. I was like, look, man, I'm glad you reached out. I was like, because I've been wanting to figure this out anyways, because I've been thinking about creating our own podcast. You know, I've been talking with Jay. You guys know Jay. Jay's there taking classes all the time. Jay, Dre, there's a group of us, and we all get together, we all meet, and we all try to create. We haven't met in a while because, you know, all the kind of COVID and everything like that. But like, what I'm trying to do is, I need to get better. When Jay told me he did theater and that he was doing it, I was on an audition at Garth.
Are you talking about Jay Jordan?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Garth told me he saw a phenomenal breakthrough for Jay. And these are his words. He said, He didn't know what he was doing at first. He was very closed off when it came to singing, right? You know, obviously it's live. It's live. You can't mess up. Like you said, there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I think partially on my part, I've been afraid of that. And I'll be honest here on live. I've been afraid of that. And that's why I know that's what I need to do to kind of break through that next barrier and take it to that next step, you know, because there's things in that relationship of theater that you don't get in other areas. You know, when I did my first showcase and had a little taste of somewhat of theater there, but it wasn't even the same, you know, it's not even the same work ethic that goes into it. But in regards to Jay and his breakthrough, that kind of opened my eyes. I was like, wow. I was like, you know, I always saw Jay as a good actor, a great actor. You know, he jumps into roles, jumps into characters. He does well. You know, he does his green screen. He does the teleprompter. He does it all. He does his real estate. He has a bunch of different venues going that all connects with his acting. But then when I heard another casting director tell me in an audition after we got done how he thought theater would be beneficial, you know, how he saw it change someone from their core, that really spoke volume to me. And I'm like, man, how do I get into that? But I think I've been so scared with myself. And that was the thing I was telling you guys about. The quote on fear is because sometimes we all have fear, but we don't speak on it. You know, we don't know, you know, like why we are fearful of it. But most times you're fearful because those are the things that you need to do to push the boundaries to get to the next point of access for you. And so to even hear you speak on theater, you know, and talk about live acting and say that there's another portion besides film and television series, which is always the go-to for everybody right off the bat. You know, I want to do one job, two job, and I want to go to LA. Oh, that's what I want to do, you know, and it's fun. And a lot of people do that. Some are successful, many are not, you know, but it's because you gotta rebuild your core from the inside. And I think, you know, just hearing that and even hearing this now about theater, man, I'm trying to get into it basically.
All right, and let me tell you, it's not just theater either, by the way. So like Jay's breakthrough, he did years of masterclass because the deal is, it's about, like, we put up Pulitzer Prize winning plays, and I would cast Jay in something that would be extremely challenging for him, and he hated it sometimes, you know, and it broke through his fear barrier. And as we broke through the fear barrier, all of a sudden he started taking voice lessons because of a critique I gave him on his voice. And then all of a sudden, he got pushed into a play, and so he's doing masterclass over here, and then the class is impacting his character over there.
There.
Yes,
it's all correlating. I see what you're saying.
It's the grind of it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the idea. And so Jay has all these breakthroughs. I mean, him and I got to sit down after class one time, and he won't mind me saying this. And he just wept in front of me, and he just cried, and he's like, I haven't cried like this. And I was like, we got to say yes to it. We got to celebrate this, you know, and let's talk about where it's coming from and blah, blah, blah. And next thing you know, he starts opening up as a human being and opening up as a man and realizing how strong it is, how much strength there is behind tears. It's okay to cry, of course.
Yeah, it's okay to be vulnerable.
Yeah. And so we dove into that deep, and so then all of a sudden he starts doing the different theater things. And I mean, he'll tell you too, I'm the one that encouraged him and told him, I was like, bro, you got to take your acting and connect it to what you're doing professionally. There's no reason you have to separate the two. And so I gave him that idea to do the thing with the real estate, and he's killing it. I mean, he's killing it. You know, he's so good.
Bro, I get Jay Jordan.
It's great content too.
Yeah, I do too. And it's amazing. Like, I'm like, you got to take this, and it's like, you don't have to separate. You know, it's like, you love real estate. You're good at real estate. He bought my house. You know, he was my realtor. You know, and why did I pick him? Here's the truth, because there's a lot of realtors out there. I picked Jay because it was clear he was serious about it. It was clear he studied it. It was clear he did it every single day, that he lived and breathed real estate. And that's the person that I want, you know, working with me. And then he drove me around for like a year and a half, 2 years before I was even ready to even think about buying a house. And he still did it. He said hi to my kids. He was super kind. And next thing you know, when it was time for me to sell my home and then buy the new home, I'm not going to go anywhere else except for the guy who's been grinding right next to me the whole time. You know, and that's the guy that's going to get the payday because he deserves it. The way I looked at it, I was like, I couldn't go to anyone else because he's already earned this paycheck a long time ago. I'm happy to pay him. I cannot wait to give this guy a paycheck. He deserves it, you know. And you connect that same idea into what we do, and you realize it has to be a daily grind. And Jay he loves to talk about the correlation here too, because real estate is it's a commission-based business. And so you if you want to, you can just be off. You can just not do anything. You know, because you start landing some houses and you start thinking like everything's great, and then you take your foot off the gas, you stop marketing, and you stop putting yourself out there, you stop learning about the market. And if you do that for 3-6 months in a row, you're done. I mean, your business, done. You have to start over, you know? Well, the same thing applies to acting. Yep, there you go.
Acting's the same way.
100%.
Trust me, I have in-house auditions, and it's funny, the stories that you hear when they're like, we had an audition today. We sent it out. Nobody wants to show up. It's like, what? Nobody wants to act on a Wednesday? What? Nobody wants to come in and read this role? Like I said, you got to bring the same energy and the same mentality, same energy that I brought in from football, you know, years ago. My first, many people don't know this. My first stint with acting was an epic fail. But I loved it, man. I loved it. It was right before I went back home to go train for my pro day. I was going back home to Texas to go train for my pro day. You know, Texas, you know how we do. So I was going back home. I was going to go train for pro day. A week before, I'm in the car with one of my friends. He played professional ball, and there's like 2 others of us. Everybody's playing professional ball. So right now, my mentality is, you know, hey, we're going to play professional ball. We're out to eat. Something tells me he talks about what he does outside of his 6 months that he played, you know, 6 to 8 months that he does not play in the CFL. He says, hey, man, have you guys ever thought about acting? And I'm like, in the back seat, I'm like, acting? I'm like, you know, okay. In my ear, I'm like, okay. And he's like, no, seriously, man. Like, you know, when I'm not playing football in the CFL, that's kind of how, you know, I make more income and, you know, something new that I'm doing. And it's been good to me. You know, he was like, you know, there should be more people like us, you know, in the industry, you know, actual athletes who, you know, can transition that on film. And, you know, and I was like, wow, I was like, I was intrigued by it. So he had a contact from what I thought he knew the guy. And it was for, you know, kind of a supposedly big time commercial agency out in LA.
Yeah.
And at this time, had no idea what I was doing. No idea. No headshot, no resume, no nothing, no classes, no anything at this time. And so I emailed the guy to send him some, you know, football shots of me and, you know, just some stuff that I've done as far as, you know, catalog work, print work, you know, with the school and, you know, with the brand Adidas and whatnot. But in regards to that, I didn't have any type of no job history, no acting classes, no resume at all. And the guy reached back out to me. So this was weird. I was like, oh, man. I was like, this is crazy. And he reached back out to me. I'm like, I wonder how many other people are getting reached out. I thought he only reached out to me because of my friend. And now this is where I was wrong. I go in for the audition, right? And this is kind of, you know, the audition to be casted with their agency, right? And so there's about 12 to 15 people at this first one. And I'm, you know, nervous, don't really know what's going on. They hand me a script, right? Cold read, right? We don't really get a whole lot of cold reads like that anymore. But out there, it's you know, sometimes you got to be ready. And that's another thing as far as like you were saying, just working on your craft and continuing your grind. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. In this point in time, I was not ready and I was not prepared. So I'm getting the cold read. I'm like number 5 in line. I go in. You know, he asked me, headshot resume? He's like, stand on the mark. And I'm like, looking around for the mark. You know, he's like, let's over there behind the chair. So I get there, you know, we kind of go through it. I read the script. Didn't do bad, a little shaky, a little nervous, you know, kind of swaying a little bit. Nothing too crazy, but I don't think I was going to get any sort of callback at all. I don't even know what a callback was at this point. So I go back out, you know, back to Arizona from LA, and I'm packing up, getting ready to go home now. My flight is on Monday. This is Monday. And as I'm getting ready, I kid you not, as I'm getting ready to check my bags on to the plane, they call me back. As I'm getting ready to check my bags on to head to Texas, they call me back and they're like, hey, you know, and my friend told me this. He said, hey, when you're in LA, they're going to expect you to be in LA. So anybody who's thinking about being in LA, wants an agency in LA, wants to kind of go back and forth, they're going to expect you to be in LA. Just know that. And so they're like, hey, it's Monday. Hey, you know, we want to let you know, we really liked your audition. Would you like to come back for the callback? I was like, oh, wow. I'm like at Southwest curbside check-in, getting ready to give them my bags. And I'm like, my uncle's like, what's going on? You know, my uncle, Jerome Robinson, I don't know if you guys know him. He played football at ASU, played with the, Broncos.
Go Devils, go!
Gotta do it.
He's there with me. He's like, who are you on the phone? What's going on? And he was in the car when our initial friend kind of put that in my ear. And so I was like, I can't go. I was like, I got to go to LA. And so I go back out to LA. And see, this is where I didn't learn. You have to learn. God put you in situations so you can learn. Go back there. Now, instead of 15 people, it's a cattle call, right? It's a bunch of people in there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm still thinking my friend Glenn is the reason why I'm, kind of in that position. So, I'm putting his name down. I'm like, Glenn. I see everybody else. They put this guy named Jeff. I'm like, Glenn and Jeff. Jeff put me on. Jeff told me to come, man. instead of me being patient, it was another cold read again. Instead of me being patient, I was kind of antsy. It was all new. I didn't know what was going on. I should have kind of hung back and relaxed and just let it happen. But I'm still kind of early in the group, kind of first in line, and same guy. Hey, headshot, resume? No. Get on the mark again. I found the mark. Whatever, didn't do the greatest. I did not get any callback, didn't get an offer, didn't get accepted by their agency, and that was the last that I heard from them. Obviously, it's still good working relations, stuff like that. They follow me, I follow them on Instagram and all the other good stuff, but they've been able to see me grow and develop as an actor. But if I didn't have that initial setback, it would not have put me in the position and mindset to work. And I found out, I was like, you know what? I see this other chapter that God possibly wants to open and create, this lane that he possibly wants to do. I was like, let me finish here with football what I need to do. And if it does not work out there, if I lay it out on the field, put it all out there, if it's not supposed to be, let's try this. Let's do this. And after I did that and kind of, kept pressing, and God kept showing me little things and, ooh, okay, you can do this, or hey, okay, maybe now you can do this. It really opened the door. And it allowed overflow.
And I can say God is going to do that. He works in mysterious ways where he's going to knock you down a little bit. If you don't listen early, he's going to find a way to get you the lesson and get you the work. All right, I got to jump onto some of this here. This is from Zach. Says, hey, everybody, this is Dejzon's father. Happy birthday, son. I love you.
That's one of my childhood friends.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. Someone has said about asking you about being a new father. We took care of that. Annika Walker, so awesome, nephew. Happy blessed birthday! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! That's from Annika. It looks like. And
thank you, Auntie.
No doubt, growing up, Dejzon's always been looking ahead to the next step. So getting a lot of love online there, my friend.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, it's definitely a good birthday. Definitely a blessing to be alive, awake, breathing. To see you guys. Like I said, we just I appreciate you guys. For the audition call back here recently. Like I said, we're just continuing to work during the pandemic, finding different ways to work. I know once all this clears up, my whole thing was I had to find out how to make time. And I know that's always sounds like an excuse, how to make time to get better. You know what I mean? How do you make time to get better? And anybody can always make excuses. Like, yeah, okay, I just did this. I have a baby. I got a house. I got all these other things going on. But you got to make time. And so my thing is, I am going to vow, here on live to make more time and dedicate it to my craft, whether that be, enrolling in the master class or, we're talking behind the scenes of we work, as far as, being disciples in the industry on how we can disrupt the mantle. I'm ready to pour it back into my craft even more. You know
That's
what I mean?
Good. That's good.
And right now, I feel that. And I appreciate you guys for, bringing that passion, because I see you guys all the time working. I may not say anything or, maybe some downtimes in between auditions and here and there, but you guys are constantly in the green room, either in audition room or going through with master classes, the little classes for the younger children, which I think is definitely great that you guys focus so much on the younger generation, because they don't really have
you know what we do constantly is we are constantly putting obstacles in our own way on purpose and in a lot of ways making things harder than it has to be. You know, even I'll tell you, this morning's setup is a brand new setup we've never done before. Because we went into a camp with a bunch of kids, and it was like life altering again, as it usually is, and it was a brand new thing for us. So then we had the opportunity where now it's like, okay, we got to go back to our regular grind. So instead of just setting it up the way we always do, what if we always ask ourselves, what if we had never done it before and we could start from scratch? What might we do different? And so we've got a brand new setup that we're going to figure out how to get better and better and better and better. Dude, did you green screen me, or is there actual green behind me?
I did for part of it.
Okay, it didn't look good.
Now there's green behind
The green actually looks pretty dang cool, actually.
I don't know. I don't think it looks good. But what's funny is, like, we had this whole idea it was going to be like a whole set, you know, and stuff behind me. But we'll get there. You trust me. Like, in a couple days, it's going to look pretty awesome behind me.
Let me check back in.
All right, man. You be well. I appreciate you on the show today. We'll continue to check in, and you keep your head down, keep grinding. Okay.
Yes. Please get with me on. Let's connect. I want to know more in the theater world. Like I said, I know I've talked to Garth in regards to what he has going on over there. I'd like to see what you guys got going on over there, man. Please.
It's a masterclass, dude. It's masterclass. We do the best plays in the world, and you do it 20 minutes at a time. It's the hardest work you're ever going to put in, and you can be doing it consistently without having the restrictions of rehearsals in the theater process. You create your own rehearsals with your scene partner on your time, but I hold you to Broadway standards.
The same accountability.
Broadway. It's Broadway standards. If you're not ready to go up on Broadway, you're not good enough to be in the class. And then when we go, like, you're going to get stopped probably the first word or the first step, because if it's not absolutely truthful, that's what we do. We rewind it and we talk about it. And then you build, you grow, you build, you grow. And it's like this, because that's what mastery is. Mastery is this idea of start, stop, get better, get better, get better, get better. If you listen to, let's just say, like a master pianist or a master, somebody who's playing the violin or something like that, and they're working with their coach, it sounds like this. No, go back. No, yeah, good, go. Okay, good, now go back, and it's like boop, 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 boop. It's right, because they're trying to get exponentially better. Like my gifting that I've earned is working with the 1%, the people who are already there, and helping them get better. That's really where I'm at. So that's why I work with these like big level CEOs, like all the local celebrities and stuff like that. They usually come see me for classes privately, you know, because I'm all about how do I take somebody who's already there and push them to get better, you know. And so
I was going to ask you, so you do offer private classes?
Oh yeah. It's expensive, but I do. It's pricey, but I do, you know, and I give away a lot too. I mean, we give away a ton. I mean, we give away scholarships consistently. We're always finding ways to give. But my whole thing is like, I either need you to pay my price or I got to give it to you for free for the right reasons. Because otherwise we don't build a respectful relationship back and forth where you don't value what I'm doing.
I 100% agree.
But
But I like that you do have that either or option, you know. And like I said, the reason why I initially kind of was intrigued by the, you know, kind of, and I said Garth, you know, is because I was in an audition and I was talking to him as how to get to that next level. And it's funny that you say that, because I was like, okay, man, like I would want more of a one-on-one coaching. Obviously, you know, in the class is great because you can interact with people, and that's something that I'm in for too. But when I had initially talked about the theater aspect of it, I was like, man, how do I get more coaching? How do I get more coaching on not just, you know, not live acting, but, you know, raw emotion? How do I channel that? How do I, you know what I mean? How can I use that to feed and fuel, you know, what's on the surface, you know, not just, you know, and what's on the surface and make it amplified, you know?
All right. Here's what I'm going to give you. You ready? Because we do have to end the show. You need to go on to our YouTube, on the Deering Acting Studio YouTube, and look up Masterclass. Because the last couple, and it's not going to be like this forever, but we gave away the last few for free. So you can literally sit there and learn and watch the grind and watch the actual process happen, and you can sit there and you can binge watch for like 8 hours at a time and grow as a person and grow as an actor. And it's unbelievable to be a part of that.
Beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, love you, man. Be good. Be well. Happy birthday.
guys.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday!
Guys, thank you.
Thanks so much for being on. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. This has been Mornings with Matt. We sure appreciate you tuning in. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to this channel. It's very important that you subscribe so that we can put out more of this light-driven content to the planet. God bless.
Thanks for listening to Mornings with Matt. Please like, subscribe, and follow us at Deering Acting Studio to keep up with the latest content. For more information on classes, private lessons, or professional development coaching, visit www.deeringstudio.com. Have a Deering day, everyone.